Hello humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. Tencent Games is the captain now. They got in a deal with Ubisoft. We're going to break it down today, guys. And when it comes to Tencent, the one thing I can tell you that this company does not lose money. No, they don't. Right? Their revenue in 2020 was about 482 billion, I think. I mean, it's just incredible the kind of money they make. But they also own, of course, Tencent Games. They're into Epic Games. They're into Riot Games. So they're expanding their portfolios. Of course, they have some multimedia companies out there. But when it comes to Ubisoft, just like any other business investment, money comes with strings, right? And let's just face it, Ubisoft, or Ubisoft, however you want to say it, has not been doing great the last few years. Even with their last release, let's talk about Shadows. Shadows, they're claiming, they have 3 million players, 2 million players, whatever they want to claim. And whenever you answer a revenue question in players, it's sort of like answering a weight question and how many pounds you lost this week. Somebody asks you, how much do you weigh? Well, I lost 5 pounds this week. No, I asked you how much you weigh. The only thing that matters in business is sales. And they're not talking about sales. Let me tell you, weight loss and sales are things that you brag about. When you can't brag about those things, it means that you're fat and that you didn't sell enough. That's exactly what it means. So let's just summarize here what I've read. And this is really a significant development because it can change a few things for Ubisoft, right? Tencent, the Chinese gaming giant, has invested a significant amount of money in this new Ubisoft newly carved out subsidiary. The move has sparked curiosity among a lot of gamers, a lot of Ubisoft fans, because of the company's recent struggles and underperforming titles, controversies, and surrounding messaging in games and that kind of stuff, right? All the political, social media stuff that's going on. But the only thing that matters is dollars, and they've been underperforming. Now let's look at the background of this deal. Ubisoft, the French gaming company known for franchises like Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Rainbow Six, recently announced the creation of a new subsidiary to oversee its most prominent titles. So they're basically taking a chunk of the company, they're putting it aside, making another company, right? And in this company, Tencent has invested $1.16 billion for a minority stake in this, new company, giving the Chinese conglomerate significant influence over Ubisoft's future gaming strategies. That's according to Bloomberg, and again, I'll reference all these on the article, and I'll just read you the article for those of you who don't have time going over there. This investment is part of Tencent's ongoing strategy to diversify its portfolio and strengthen the presence in Western markets, following similar investments in companies like Riot Games and Epic Games, of course. Now, Epic Games, they own about 40%. Now, how do these companies use this leverage in order to get what they want? Because in this deal, for example, they only own 25% of the company. Well, when you own a quarter of anything, or let's say they own, I think they own 40% of Epic at this point, around there. If you sell all your shares, right, that stock is gonna tank. Or if you lend out your shares for shorting, if somebody wants to short the stock, right, you want to lend it out for short, you can do that too. It happens all the time. But what happens here with Chinese companies, you have to remember, they all have to answer to the Chinese government, and there's certain guidelines that they have to follow without getting too political. There's certain things American companies can't do, right? We restrict our companies from not engaging in business with other countries, right? So this is not abnormal, but they have to follow the same thing for their country, in this case, China. And a lot of it has to do, some of it, and a lot of it has to do with social matters, which, the Ubisoft has focused on here, in the last few years, and this could make a change for the company. Now, there's been a lot of speculation that Tencent has been helping Ubisoft to fail because they want to get a bigger chunk of the company. And that could be true also, right? They could devalue the stock of the original company so much that they would have to sell. Even this company here, Ubisoft doesn't have the resources that Tencent has. At some point, they could just cut and run and say, you know what, you take over because we're not good at business. We're losing too much money. So, just buy us off because you already own so much of the company. Even the biggest companies in the world can't take losses or ongoing losses on new projects, especially with how much games are worth now and the amount of investment you have to make. You can't incur these losses year over year. And over the past few years, Ubisoft stock has underperformed due to disappointing game launches, declining public sentiment. The company's most recent financial reports show a decline in revenue attributed to a lukewarm reception of its marquee franchises. This is according to CNBC, but all the news is out there. Many critics and players have pointed out that Ubisoft's focus on incorporating political narratives into their games has alienated portions of their core audience. I believe this to be true. It's self-evident if you look at social media. While Ubisoft has attempted to disposition itself as a socially conscious developer, many gamers have expressed frustration that the company prioritizes political messaging over gameplay and quality and narrative depth. I would agree with those sentiments. That's why I wrote it. For instance, Far Cry 6 received mixed reviews, with some players criticizing the game's overt political commentary, which they felt was forced and detracted from the gaming experience. Similarly, Assassin's Creed Mirage struggled to rekindle enthusiasm among longtime fans, despite its return to the franchise stealth-based roots. Ubisoft's attempts to balance social commentary with satisfying gameplay have not resonated with its audience, leading to lackluster sales and diminishing investor confidence. And that is according to Investor Observer in 2025. So this is just not the gaming magazine saying this, right? This is the same narrative that you hear by investment media now. So it's just not YouTube anymore. It's just not a few YouTubers saying this. This is, the investment community at large saying the same things that sometimes you see reflected on social media. Now let's talk about Tencent's influence and how it could be a double-edged sword, right? Tencent involvement in Ubisoft, the new subsidiary with all the, more popular IPs, even though they're going to have financial backing now that could stabilize Ubisoft declining portfolio and fortunes, it also introduces concerns about effective creative freedom. Because, like I said before, Tencent is bound to certain things by their government, right? And there might be things that, they're not going to be able to make games on. You can forget about any game having to do with Taiwan, for example, as a separate country. That's not going to happen. It would never happen. So, they all have an influence, allowing companies like Riot Games to operate independently while occasionally guiding monetization is usually what they've done when it comes to market expansion, but they also have an influence in some subject matter if it can be too controversial, specifically when it comes to international matters so far, right? But there are social things that they do not endorse, let's just put it that way, right? But there's potential benefits, right? Number one is increased financial stability, because now you have Tencent's backing, right? It provides Ubisoft with much needed financial stability to innovate and experiment with new game designs. This funding could allow Ubisoft to revamp popular franchises and re-engage its core audience. Also, this could be an entry into new markets, right? Tencent has a global reach and influence, especially in the Asian market, where Ubisoft could expand, right? Its footprint in regions where their games maybe haven't been as popular. Maybe do a couple of things with mobile, which is more popular in Asia than it is here in the West. Another would be improved technology and infrastructure. Tencent expertise in live service models and cloud-based gaming platforms could really enhance Ubisoft's technical capabilities and provide new monetization opportunities. So one thing that is going to change is monetize DLC. Oh yeah, that will happen, because the one thing about Tencent is they do not lose money. They don't, right? Time over time, if you look at the trajectory of the stock, it's not as high as it's been, like back in 2020. But if you look at the stock analysis, it's an upward trend, and it's a constant upward trend. Now, the shift towards mobile and microtransactions coming from Tencent, there could be some free-to-play models they could influence in, right? Ubisoft, they're going to make Ubisoft prioritize games that favor microtransactions, battle passes. It could potentially alienate some console and PC gamers, but, it's about making money. And that's one thing Ubisoft is not doing. Now, there could be, as far as potential drawbacks, there could be creative constraints. All right, well, Tencent has traditionally allowed autonomy by, the companies that they run or have investments in. Increasing stake may lead to subtle shift in creative decisions. Like I said, there could be nudging, especially when it comes to, Taiwan or any international matters that they might deem as sensitive that their government might not approve of. That's just part of the game. There could be a loss of Western identity. I don't think so, though, because this company, can you really say Ubisoft at this point has an identity? It used to, but not now, right? As they expand, hopefully character creation gets better. There's a lot of things in the Asian gaming market that are better, that gamers prefer over the Western market, and character design surely is one of them. Now, what could be the impact on the popular Ubisoft franchises? The future of Ubisoft, marquee franchises remains under certain, Tencent influence, for the future. Assassin's Creed, Ubisoft flagship series, is in a critical juncture because this game is not as successful, and we're talking about Shadows, as they wish it could have been, or they would be, screaming out sales figures up and down. That's reality of it, right? If they had sold 10 million copies in a week, we couldn't stop hearing about it. And part of the reason I think this deal happened is because it didn't perform as well, and Tencent knew they had leverage on this company because they were desperate to make the deal. Face it, guys, if Ubisoft was doing blockbuster numbers, do you think they would even think of putting their IPs in a smaller company so people could come and invest because they need money? No, right? You don't sell something when it's worth the most, when it can make you even more money, right? You sell it at the peak when you can't make any more money, and then you go from there. But in this case, this stock has just been going down and down and down. So that's why Tencent got in my point of view, right, at the lowest price possible. Any investor could have gotten in there and start buying, tons of Ubisoft stock. And I think their fear was losing control of the company completely. They still retain control, but they have a heavy influence from Tencent. Absolutely. Tencent is going to guide the wheels of where this is going. And, the guidance from Tencent is you have to make money. You have to make money or we blow the whole thing up and we buy everything, 10 cents on the dollar. So they really do have Ubisoft under the gun here. Even though it may appear that Ubisoft is in control, they're really not, because it's not their money. Now, Tencent investment in Ubisoft's new subsidiary is pivotal for the company. While the financial boost and technological expertise bought by Tencent could revitalize the company, and especially its struggling finances, there's a risk that the company's creative autonomy may be compromised. And it's going to be, right? Maybe for the better, because, a lot of their ideas, they're not that great, let's just face it. Maybe Tencent has some better ideas. Whether this move saves Ubisoft from its current slump, that's something we have to see. Or it could be further alienate its fan base, because we miss the good old days, right? How well the company will balance its, financial needs with creative freedom is something we're just going to have to wait for. All right, humans, those are my thoughts on this deal. And I will be back sometime next week. I can't tell you when. This is a trip that I have to take. It's going to take a few days. It's going to be fun. And we'll see. Maybe I can get some retro game shopping done. Guys, thank you so much. I'll catch you on the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Again, I'm going to put a link to the Substack down below. You can sign up. It's for free. So if you want to read more in detail, and I also link reference to the articles I read, so you guys can, read some of the same information that I did. All right, humans, I will catch you on the next one. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for stopping by. Take care.
New videos every Monday and Sunday. Thank you for joining me on another episode of the Gen X Gamer. Remember to like and subscribe, click that notification bell, and remember, never ever be afraid to be happy. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.